refreshing real quick. There we go. There we go. Sorry. I don't know. Weird. Okay. Hello. Am I able to be heard and or seen? Am I seen? Maybe a little bit more existential than we were preparing for on a Tuesday evening. Are we seen? All right. Yes. I'll wait for chat maybe to pop up a little bit more before I can begin. Let me see. Yep, my microphone is picking me up. There's so much you have to think about. I have my glass of nondescript Diet Cola. Jordy's here. Hi, Jordy. How are you doing? And Andrew. Andrew Groutman 9055. Hello. Nice to see you. All right. So everything's working. Beep-a-doo-bop. Good to know. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday stream that I've been doing instead of playing. We don't need this anymore. I don't know who's familiar and who's not, so if you need a refresher, I'm going to give you a quick little bit of back, but it is Bug Month, apparently, via Wolfe Glick, and who doesn't love riding the coattails of Wolfe Glick? Certainly, this guy does, obviously. But yes, so it is Bug Month. It seems that Wolfe has decided that this month is something to celebrate, like bug-type Pokemon, which I would probably agree are underappreciated in VGC, particularly because they are bad, not very good. For the most part, there have obviously been exceptions to this rule over the years. I was a Volcarona main in Regulation H 2.0, so that obviously is there. But yeah, so it is Bug Month, and I think it's funny. You know what I mean? It's like I'm a silly man who likes to do silly things, and this is pretty silly. And so when I heard about Bug Month, almost dropped my phone, I really liked it. I was like, oh, that sounds really fun, actually. That's super cool. I want to do that. So here we are. I am now riding on the coattails of Bug Month, and I will be doing my own Bug Month events. I am working with trying to get some other creators to work with so that we can expand this out a little bit more over the course of February. But at the very, very least, it seems I can confirm that today we will discuss the metagame for the ladder tournaments that I will be hosting on Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. EST for the remainder of the month, which will be what I describe as Monobug Reg H+. And so what is Reg H+? It is bug types only Regulation H+ Slitherwing. Because I at least I personally feel that one of Slitherwing's stabs being entirely resisted by everything, for the most part. You know, there will be some exceptions due to dual typing, but mostly being resisted by everything means that even with its increased stat distribution, it's not particularly overpowered. So I think it's fine to include and to give it a place to shine. So everybody let Sierra Dawn know that she can use Slitherwing in this. Yeah, and so those are the rules. So we're going to tier these Pokemon. We're going to talk about the metagame, think about what we think is going to be really strong, and then kind of go from there. Matt says, hello, here for the Bug Boys. Hello, Matt. I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to switch. I have my screen set up. I'm actually going to bring the chat closer to the camera. Can I do that? Yeah. And then can I no, I don't want that one to be bigger. I want this one to be smaller. There we go. Perfect. So maybe that'll have me facing a little bit more closely to the camera, which I think will be good. Yeah, so put my beverage there. I really like diet soda. Okay. So yes, so I have gone ahead and looked through all of the available bugs. Also, Dragonair said first. I didn't mention that. Hello, Dragonair. I have gone through all of the available final evolution bugs that are usable in Regulation Bug Plus. I'll figure something out for it. I'll figure out a cool name for it. The primary thing to think is that there will be not fully evolved Pokemon that are viable in this metagame. We're thinking specifically things like Venonat, Scyther, Charjabug. I would even say the Spupa, like the pre-evolution of Vivian, is also could be viable. It's pretty bulky with Eviolite, so I think it has some usage case there, which could be something kind of fun. So there are not fully evolved Pokemon. So in theory, I have 24 Pokemon on this screen, but there are more than that that are viable to use on your teams. we'll say the number is probably closer to like 28 to 30, right? So you could have some real fun here. But yes, Jordy feels very set that Scyther is A rank. I don't necessarily think I'm going to disagree with that. I do have the mons pulled up on Showdown, so we can take a look at those. Let me go ahead and get rid of this. Let me make this a little bit bigger for y'all. Yeah, that's better. There. Now you can see the Pokemans better. And then I can go here and you can see everything. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I know how to do this. I promise. But okay. So we're going to do this all kind of in conjunction. I have prepared and provided both, porque no los dos, a tier list for all the available final evolution bug type Pokemon. So unfortunately, I think is actually Scyther on this list. No, Scyther's not on this list, but I can add him in actually. So we can like get a Scyther. I can get a Scyther sprite and just tack it in really quick. So we'll do all of these, and then we'll figure out the eligible non-fully evolved forms. I'll get those sprites, add them in, and then we can add them to the list, which I think will be really good. So, does anybody have any questions before we begin about my piggybacking on Bug Month? While I take a drink. What I got? Nope. Well, it'll take y'all a second to actually do it, but I will wait patiently. And then I plan on releasing a video tomorrow. So I'll do this today, and then once we figure out like a base meta and kind of what we want to do, I will release kind of a short like announcement video tomorrow for the ladder tournaments, just to kind of get those going. And then the goal will be to culminate the kind of the Bug Month meta over the course of the month into a limitless tournament near the end. I can't do it like on the like last day of the month, because that's actually the weekend of Seattle, which I will be attending, hopefully, barring any like large problems arising. And so like we can't host it like then, because otherwise I did ask Rock, whom is a good a fun like content creator who's able to hold limitless tournaments. I am not yet, unfortunately. I've applied many times. They've never accepted me. Yeah, so this is ideally we would be able to do a limitless tournament with the ladder tournaments acting as like the way to figure out what's good and what's not, and then we can kind of culminate like the bug master with whomever wins the limitless tournament near the end of the month, probably middle of the week, last week of the month. Will you bring a full bug team to Seattle? That would be so sick. And if somebody does that, that would be really cool. But you should be able to see the 24 Pokemon on your screen right now and know that I would win 0 rounds. I would win none of them whatsoever. It would be so bad. I would see Rock Slide Landorus, and I would be like, okay, I lose. Like, GG, shake my hand. Have fun with that one. You need some resists there. I don't think anything would resist, or I don't think anything. Okay, so Fortress would be neutral to Rock Slide, right? Rock moves, and Scizor, and Heracross. Is that it? Right? Slitherwing would be neutral to Rock moves. Rock doesn't resist Rock. Yeah. Okay, so there would be a decent amount of Rock neutral, but you don't have... How many fire neutralities do you have? So you have 1 fire neutrality. And Incineroar is everywhere. You have a Araquanid, I guess, or like Clear Amulet Araquanid could be something. Yeah, I don't know. I helped, if you haven't been paying attention to the draft, I did help Konami please nerf with his semifinals round against Justin Tang, and we used Sash Vikavolt for that. That was really funny. I don't think he actually ever brought it out, though, so. It just so happened that Timid Max Speed Vikavolt outsped no speed investment Magmortar by 1 point, like perfectly. And I was like, okay, you got to use that. Like, come on, like that's such a cool coincidence. Yeah, okay. Rage Powder plus Volk would win at least 1 round, I promise. Do it. That's true. That's true. If I did it, I would definitely do a combo of like Volk plus a Venonat, because Venonat is like Amoonguss at home, you know? So that would be really cool. And then, yeah, like Quiver Dance Volk would be something. There's not really any haze in the meta right now. But it's like, do you really have the support? You know what I mean? It's like, I guess you could do Rage Powder Ariados as well, but I think Venonat's like technically bulkier, but it just can't hold. Maybe Ariados can hold a Citrus Berry or Rocky Helmet. I don't know. I haven't run my Ariados calcs in Regulation F, I'm going to be honest with you. But like so many of these things do get Quiver Dance. It's like, okay, you have a ton of options there. You have Fell Stinger with Vespiquen as well. So that would be like a quasi setup option. Leavanny would be terrible. Don't use that. You do have Guts Heracross. I guess it would resist one of Ursaluna's stabs. Most of these things would resist one. There's no like Bug Ghost. Like if there was like Ghost Flying obviously would be the best one, but that's like reserved for Drift Limb, right? That mon's kind of poopy doopy, so I don't really want to use that. Or at least the people that use it are kind of poopy doopy because we know what it's there for. Aloe says Tail Glow, Baton Pass, Volbeat. Yeah, that is true. That is true. So yeah, I mean, in theory, Tail Glow Baton Pass is like really good. Like if you think about it, you're like, wow, I could just give something a +3 special attack. The problem is that it's 2 turns to set it up, right? So you have to click Tail Glow, and then you have to click Baton Pass, and then you kind of hit the ground running, right? With a mon that can just set itself up, you only need to click the button, one button, and then you can kind of like go. That extra turn is really hard, right? Because then you have to like do. Is it like you fake out? You need something that can both flinch and redirect, right? So it's like, and we're gonna talk about that because you'll tell there's no fake out here, so that's gonna make some of these setup options a little bit harder, stuff like that. So it's like it just takes a little bit too much time. Which I think can be a bit of a challenge in like a standard VGC metagame. But it's like, obviously, if we're using all bug types, like how much damage can things really deal? That's the question there. Okay, let's get this show on the road, right? We're about 15 minutes in. But good suggestion, Aloe. I like it. So, okay, so Venomoth. It's on here, right? Okay, so Venomoth, right? Bug and poison. So no fire resistance. So let's kind of actually, hang on. Before we start, let's get the obvious ones out of the way. Volcarona will obviously be S tier, right? Like fire typing hitting. There's only one resistance to fire in this entire metagame, right? Like it's just Araquanid because of water bubble. So if you run something else, it doesn't even resist fire. It just becomes neutral to it. But like Volcarona, obviously, probably the best Pokemon in the metagame, right? It's like, it's got the fire typing, which like nothing resists. It can set up with Quiver Dance. It has really good special defense, and most of these Pokemon are special attackers, that kind of stuff. So it's like really, really, really good. It gets spread damage with things like Heat Wave, Struggle Bug if you want to lower special attacking damage on opposing Pokemon, that kind of stuff. So it's got a lot of really cool options. And it's, in my opinion, easily the best Pokemon. It's like, this will be the meta threat that everybody needs to kind of get around. And so I think, yeah, Volcarona, very, very clearly S tier. Let me grab, hang on, I'm going to minimize this real quick. Let's appease Jordy really fast. So I can just download these, right? Yeah. Oh, but I need Pokemon Home Sprites Gen 1, right? There's a website where I can get all of these really, really easily. So we go here. Let's grab. I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of the not fully evolved Pokemon that we know are viable. I should have done this before, but I'm dumb. Oh, I don't need that one. What am I doing with my life? I already have that. I need this one, though. I should be able to go here. Did I put it? Yeah, put it in. Okay, Venonat is right here. Okay, I'm learning. Yeah, Venonat, where is... Scyther. Where are you at? Dog? Why do they have the Galarian birds with it? Okay, here it is. Whoa, there's so many Scyther sprites. Why do they... What? I'm confused. That's not new for me, though. I'm always confused. Alright, then we should just be able to go... Perfect. Okay. Scyther, Venonat. Yeah. So Scyther. Okay. So let's talk about Scyther, right? Because Jordy seems to really believe in this thing, which I'm not going to disagree, right? My qualm with this though is like people are going to tech. Hello? Did I not put it in the list? Am I silly? Am I a silly little man? Yes. Can I not add to this list? Where's the option to add more Pokemans? How odd. It's not giving me the option to add. Let me go down here. That's fine. I'll just... Araquanid will become... Oh, I guess this is the max amount you can have in a box, so... So Scyther, right? I mean, it gets Technician, which will make it really strong. My problem here is, like, people are going to be teching rock moves on effectively everything, right? Yeah, Matt, you're right. The box is full. Right? So it's like being quad weak to rock doesn't feel super great. Bug Stab, I mean, Flying Stab is, like, obviously really good. You can hold Eviolite. The stat distribution here is so good that in this metagame, it probably doesn't need to even hold Eviolite directly. It could hold, like, Choice Band. Or honestly, maybe even Life Orb, right? But if you want this thing to, like, really live, I mean, Technician is going to give it those power boosts that it needs anyways, right? My question here is like, Dual Wing Beat. That is, because it's 40 power per hit, it gets boosted by Technician, right? Like, doesn't it? That's my question. Not the total damage. Okay, so yeah, it does look like Dual Wing Beat is boosted by Technician. So yeah, that's really good. Effectively, yeah, giving it that 1.5 times boost, making it a 120 base power hit. And you can break through Sash. I guess you could do... Okay, Bug Bite would be good if it wasn't holding an item. That's something funny that I think could work. Okay, so Screens, Brick Break is something, because Screens theoretically could be a meta with Illumise. Does Illumise get Screens? That's my question. I don't even know. Like, we're looking... Yeah. Oh, it only gets Light Screen. Does it get, like, Charm? Okay, it does get Charm. Does get Charm. Does get Light Screen. Does get Charm. So, there's something there. All the way at the bottom, right? So, Scyther, Dual Wing Beat. I mean, it gets coverage. Close Combat, I guess, but, like... What do you want to see in this metagame? It gets U-turn as a good pivot, so it could be a fast pivot, which is nice. It gets quick attack. Swords Dance is obviously good. X-Scissor's fine. I mean, it's neutral on most things. Quick Guard, but there's not that much priority in this metagame. So yeah, I mean, it gets a couple of decent options here. I'm not too mad about it. It gets Agility, it gets Aerial Ace, so I think for the sake of it, I will agree that, yeah, it is A tier for sure. I mean, yeah, it is fast, right? It's 105. So, yeah, I think you're right. It's Galvantula is like 108 and Ribombee is 124. So, I think Ribombee is the fastest Pokemon, like, in the meta, right? Like, Ribombee is the thing to outspeed. Oh, Low Kicks isn't bad. Base 92. 65, 89, 80, 90... Rabombi gets both screens. That's true. 85, 100. Frostmoth is just like worse Volcarona. I don't find ice typing to be particularly good. Slitherwing, yeah, Ariados, Yanmega. Yeah, it's faster than Yanmega, but Yanmega gets speed boost, but then you have to waste a turn. Because you can probably outspeed Rabombi after one speed boost. Yeah, very slow. Yeah. So that's correct. So yeah, that does look like Rabombi is the fastest thing in the metagame. And the overall stat distribution to be says that, yeah, Scyther. Because it can hold the Eviolite, right? Like, Scyther's really, really good. Let's just stick with this idea of not fully evolved Pokemon. So so Venonat is actually really solid, I think, personally, because it is, it's another viable Eviolite user with really important tools that, I mean, other stuff has, right? So I think Rage Powder is actually super good. Because you'll notice that only one of these Pokemon is actually a grass type in Leavanny. And Leavanny is like kind of bad, right? Like, so you're like, even if it does, like, what's it really doing to you, in this metagame? Leavanny's pretty terrible. So Rage Powder, like, if something getting Rage Powder is actually like super good, because you can, unless it's holding safety goggles, like, there's effectively nothing, and there's nothing realistic in the metagame that's going to be able to stop the redirection, and you can only hold one safety goggles per team. So you can run. So if you watched the draft, I drafted Venonat, and I used it in the last week of the regular season against Shuckle King, and you can do like bold, like if you knock this thing up, like. With Eviolite, that's pretty good. You know what I mean? And you can just go like bonk, bonk or something like that. Like if you really, really want to just like be physically defensive. I do think that this is, with its poison typing, it does work well for it to be super defensive. You can even just go to bumps. I think, yeah, 110 is there. Like something like that. It's really slow. It's the second slowest Mon, I think, behind Vikavolt at 43 base speed. So you can, I think it's Relax. Is that the nature? Yeah, oh my god, I played this game too much. Yeah, so it's like the second slowest thing. Like, the amount of bulk on this is like all of a sudden like super good. And it gets, so I think the big thing too is like, okay, well, Jon-Luke, it can't deal any damage. But it gets Nightshade, which is actually super good in this metagame, because Nightshade deals damage equal to the user's level. Which will deal, obviously in VGC 50 damage. But look at the HP stats of these Pokemon. 70, 70, 60, 75, 65, 65, 86, 70, 80. Like, none of these have, like, super high HP stats. And so 50 damage on these things is pretty good. Like, that's a decent chunk of damage, right? So you don't actually need to worry about, I don't think so. Yeah, okay, they both do, yeah. Both Volbeat and Illumise get Prankster. Valor, hello, Valor, how you doing? So yeah, Overcoat, I didn't think about that, actually, Jordy, that's a good point. Fortress does get Overcoat, yes. Yeah, because you don't really need Sturdy. I mean, 60, you can just kind of pump this thing. You're not going to really, I guess my question is like, why run Fortress? Like, Iron Defense Body Press doesn't do particularly well. I could actually see a world where we create some form of like prominent hazards team, like the equivalent of like Whirlwind, Ting-Lu, Dozo stuff, because obviously Stealth Rocks would be super good. And so I'm a bit curious if the meta adapts to have like, heavy duty boots Volcarona as something relatively consistent. That I think that would be really funny. And and if the meta adapts to something like that, then Fortress is really good because it gets access to Rapid Spin. And it can make it faster, so you can maybe EV it to outspeed some of the like slower Mons after a +1 with Rapid Spin, and then kind of take the game from there. So actually, you know what? I lied. I was wrong. There is a use case for Fortress in something like this. But either way, I also want to put Venonat in A tier. You can disagree with me on this, but I think that its ability to there's so little that can like realistically stop the redirection that it can make sure to save. Basically, if you have a setup sweeper, unless they're specifically teched for Venonat, which is like fair because there's so few things in the metagame that it's like you're going to be able to kind of get away with that, which I think is really, really cool. Does it get Rock Tomb? It does. Does it get Rock Slide? It gets Rock Slide. Oh, wait. Hang on. This writing is fire. Like Rock Slide, Rapid Spin. What would the item even be, honestly, on something like this? You have to run Protect. But it's like its defense is... Like, Sturdy is good, I guess, but... I wonder how much attack investment you need in order to KO a Volcarona, right? Custap. Oh, Jordy's cooking so hard, dude. Jordy, this is why I love you, dude. You're so you know how to chef it up a little bit. Let's go Volcarona. Let's do a standard leftovers quiver dance stuff. And let's do Fortress, I guess. Is there even going to be a set? Absolutely not. Dang. Let's go Adamant 252. Terra Rock. I mean, Terra Rock would... I do think that Terra Rock will be a thing. Okay, Terra Rock guarantees the KO. Do you need full investment? No. But you can probably go, like, what, second bump? I do not... This is funny. That's why we're doing this. It's silly Bobilly, you know? So let's start there. 76. Does that get us to a guaranteed Oko? No, I didn't think it would, though. But so the next one should be 156. Okay, yeah, so you can go, yeah, just like 156, honestly, and then like that, Sturdy. I guess it doesn't really matter, like, you don't need to invest in that, but if you wanted to survive non-fire moves, then you could go like, so 92 times 1.5 is 127, I think. 138. I wasn't even close. That's pretty good, actually. So at +1, it hits 138, and then you can just like bump the rest here if you really wanted to. Go Custap, Sturdy, Terra Bug, like Rock Slide, Rapid Spin. Heavy Slam is actually probably okay, and Protect. Is to utilize that steel typing into things specifically like this mon kind of hard checks Cleavor. So, okay, well, we're on it anyways, right? So it gets Sturdy. Overcoat would be good. It would be like a natural immunity to Venonat there. Doesn't Custap give priority, not speed? That's correct. So yeah, Custap, once it hits below 1/3 of its health, would 1/4 of its health or less, it would go first in its priority bracket the following turn. I'm talking about a speed boost from Rapid Spin to get rid of hazards, which I do think will actually be something quite kind of prominent. We could even do something like that. And so yeah, you would get the +1 from Rapid Spin, and that'd be able to kind of outspeed some things, which I think would be really important. The other option too would be to go. You could just do Jolly Max at that point, because Jolly Max is the same. Actually, yeah, you could just do that. So Jolly Max would be the same as 156 Adamant, just because of how the numbers work. So you could just do that, and you could go like boop, like something like this. That would also work, I think, with Sturdy Custap. And then basically that would effectively give you 2 opportunities to KO, because if you miss the Rock Slide once, you would get the second option with Custap Berry. So yeah, I think there's something there, and then just like I would go Terra Ghost on it, something like that. Yeah, so you could just go max, because if we just go Jolly, right, 252, yeah, it's the exact same calc. So yeah, not too bad. Has a couple of viable options. Overcoat is there if you want to run something a little bit bulkier. what do we say? Like B tier? Like quad weak to fire is okay because you can basically guarantee you always live one hit. And if you want to run a single target, like rock type move, you can ignore redirection because I don't think there's a follow me user here, is there? I don't think any of these Pokemon learn follow me. So yeah, so Fortress kind of, if you run Overcoat, is not able to get redirected. And there are more Rage Powder users besides Venonat, right? I mean, there's Ariados. I know that I've used Rage Powder on that before. There's Vivian. Are those the two main ones, I think? Probably, right? Those are kind of it. Matt says, sure, B is generous. Okay, but like, we have to kind of remove our preconceived expectations of these bug type Pokemon in regulation, like in standard VGC, right? Because we're not playing standard VGC here. We need to think about their use cases in this like hyper centralized metagame. And the fact that it can ignore basically all redirection available, and it's the only thing. I think is it the only thing that gets Overcoat? Am I pretty certain? Especially if it's the case where it's the only mon that gets Overcoat, right? Then it has a niche. It has like a really, really important niche. And Terra is available, right? So you could, I mean, there's also like berries, right? So let's say you want to run Overcoat. And you go like, and you don't really care about like damage. You could do something like you just go yada 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 yada. Something like this. Leavanny gets Overcoat. Yeah, but that's so useless. It's a grass type anyways. It's already a grass type. Why does it need? Oh, it doesn't need Overcoat. Leavanny, you're so dumb. And then you run. What's the berry? The one-time berry for fire type weakness? Like, that's my question. But whatever that berry is, hang on, I'll just go. Oh, no. Fire type. Which one? I don't know. I don't use these berries that much. Fire type. Oh, Akaberry. So you could run like Akaberry and calc for that. Andrew asks, is there an actual tournament at the end of the month or is it throughout the month? What's it said? Okay, so yeah, good question, Andrew. I talked about this a little bit, but I should probably bring it up throughout the stream. So for the remainder of the month, for sure, every Tuesday night, so when I'm streaming right now, Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be hosting best of one ladder tournaments. That will be like mono bug teams only, regulation H plus. And what that means is that's all regulation H legal bug types plus Slitherwing. Because I feel like that one of its primary stab being resisted is like totally fine. So it's not going to be too overpowered in this metagame. The goal will be, and I've already reached out to a couple of people. I've gotten confirmation that they want to do it. It's just like we actually have to plan it out now. That near the end of the month, so the last week of the month, yes, we will also host a limitless tournament that people can play so we can determine like the bug master. You know what I mean? So the ladder, and I'm trying to get somebody else to also host ladder tournaments, so that way you can have multiple opportunities to play during the month of February. So that way we can basically define a metagame, figure stuff out, and then utilize that in the Limitless Tour at the end of the month. That is the goal. So at the very, very least, yes, there will be tournaments that I host for 2 hours every Tuesday. That will be the goal. And Evan says the clear meta answer is Surskit, guys. I mean, he's not wrong. We'll kind of get there. But yeah, Fortress, couple of different sets here. I'm putting Fortress B. We're good. Okay. Is Trick Room an option? Fortress would go wild with Gyro Ball. Yes, so we'll get to that, but there is one dedicated Trick Room setter in Rabska. Rabska can set up Trick Room, so yes, you do have a Trick Room option. I don't think anything else gets Trick Room in the bug times, but we can check here in a little bit. So let's go here. So let's do Venomoth. So I'm going to go in order now. So we have, right, Venomoth. Where'd it go? Yeah, Venomoth, right? So Venomoth, bug poison. Not actually that amazing of a typing because you're already resisting fighting. So I guess you like quad resist fighting, I guess, but now you just get now you're neutral to ground, which isn't super great. And you become weak to psychic. Volcarona does learn psychic, by the way, so that is like a tech option you could use. It does get shield dust, which is nice, but the big thing here is that it gets tinted lens, and that could be something particularly useful. So basically, like, not very effective moves become neutral on target, so nothing actually resists Venomoth, unless they like quad resist it, but then they only 2 times resist it, you know? So that's kind of cool. Wonder Skin could be funny, I guess, but I don't particularly see the option. But Shield Dust is cool because you can't get faked out. So it does learn Quiver Dance. So in theory, you could like do like Bug Buzz is an option. I think you get Struggle Bug. So you could do like Struggle Bug as a spread move. Something like a tech of some sort. I guess Poison actually wouldn't be. So like Sludge Bomb. Quiver Dance. Protect. Yeah, Choice Specs with Tinted Lens as well. And then if you go like Shield Dust, all of a sudden it can't get faked out. So you can give it a different item. So it doesn't have to, like if you're, again, there is no fake out. But there still could be speed control options. Like primarily what I'm thinking is like Electroweb, Galvantula. So in theory, like if you don't want to get your speed dropped, you have Shield Dust there. You can just keep going, keep going. They can't drop your special attack with Struggle Bug, and they can't drop your speed with Electroweb. And then you can kind of EV yourself like what you need. So I'd probably go like what, Modest, like the first bump. $32. Yeah, and then it's like how much speed. So Rabombi is like 190 something. So this is 110. So you would need some speed investment to outspeed Rabombi after a single Quiver Dance. Let's take a look. What's Timid Rabombi, right? Like, because that would be the fastest thing. 193. So you would want to hit 194. So everybody's here on this Quiver Dance Baton Pass stuff. Just let it be the sweeper. Let Venomoth be the sweeper here. So 194 divided by 1.5. So you would need 129 basically. Or 130. Because 129 wouldn't get you there because of the rounding. Yeah, that would be tight. So you need 130 on Venomoth. So you go like that. I guess, yeah, you would go, here's your special defense, and then just a little bit more indefensively like that. Like that would be like in order to outspeed Timid Rabombi. Is like the only usable Shield Dust in VGC. Yeah, I mean, Venomoth's typing is just like really, really bad. The fairy typing like saves Pokemon a lot just because it's so good offensively and defensively. Like Bug Fairy is just like actually it like really patches up a couple of like poor type interactions for it, and then plus like you can do no investment if you want, but most people ran like Sash Rabombi, and it's just like bam, it just deals. Really good damage. So yeah, then you can go here, and then you could kind of do what you want. You could do Leftovers. You could do Citrus Berry, something like that. Like you've got a couple of options here. I will say that if you want to run a Quiver Dance Mon, like Volcarona probably is just better. Does it get skill swap though? It does get skill swap. It does get skill swap, so that would be funny. Because I wonder how useful Flame Body would be in this meta, right? Like how many physical attackers? I mean, there's low kicks. Kricketune can be physical. Vespiquen. Fortress, but it's already going to struggle into Volcarona. Scizor, but it's already going to struggle into Volcarona. Heracross, but it might want to get burned. Flame Body's still kind of good, right? So it's like, you've got the couple options there. But yeah, I think like, if you want to be funny, you know, Does it get? It doesn't get. No, that would be funny. I guess you could do like Sludge Wave, like Choice Specs, like Tinted Lens, and then like with Fortress and Scizor, like stuff like that. So you've got options there. So yeah, that could be something kind of funny, because it wouldn't stop. Sludge Wave would still, you would still be immune to Sludge Wave. So it's like if they that could be an option there, and then just like if they have something that resists, no, you don't. That could be something. So yeah, I'll put Venomoth. Like, I think that Fortress specifically has like you can do some gimmicky things with Venomoth, but I think Fortress has like a very specific niche that is filled where Venomoth doesn't. Like it's basically like Volcarona, but not. It's like I don't want to run Volcarona, so I'm going to run Venomoth, right? That's kind of where I put that. Combi to the top, trust. Let's see. So just trying to think, it might survive better than Frostmoth, and then you can have Frostmoth come in fully set up with a stab. Anything. Just thinking out loud as I've never actually. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I will just go ahead and say. Actually, let's hang on. I need to add. Go away. Dog, sorry. I mean, it has, I guess, like, what is it? Ice Scales or whatever, so it takes less damage from... Yeah, Ice Scales receives half damage from special attacks, but it's like, okay, it's quad resistant to rock again. It still quad resists fire, which will, and like rock will be everywhere, and its physical defense just isn't good enough to support it. And I guess it can like set up, but it's like you don't have like its spread move is Blizzard. Doesn't learn Snowscape. Doesn't learn Snowscape. Like, does anything even learn Snowscape? Like, that's kind of the thing, right? Like, you want to be clicking Blizzard, but like, do you learn Snowscape? Nope. Like, nothing like viable actually learns Snowscape. So it's like when you have a setup sweeper like that, you want like a really powerful spread move, and when you don't, and when you can't do that consistently, like, does any bug type Pokemon learn Snowscape? That's my question. Hang on, let's go down here. Delete. Frostmoth. Frostmoth itself learns Snowscape, but the problem with that is that then you have to spend 2 turns. You have to click Snowscape. You have to click... Oh, Sweet Scent, though, is true. There is Sweet Scent. Okay. So does, like... But again, kind of the problem with that is... Okay, yeah, so, like, Ribombee does learn Sweet Scent. I guess maybe the primary issue with that is, like, you have to spend a turn clicking Sweet Scent and Quiver Dance. And then Sweet Scent isn't permanent. So it's like they can just swap out to no longer have the... To no longer be, like, have the evasion drop. Or, yeah, so to have... Yeah, I think it's the evasion drop. So it's like, is that, like... You would want to be, like... I guess you could do, like, Specs. Like, Specs, Timid, Max Speed... Like, how fast even is that on this thing? Like, it's not fast. Like, you would want to go... Yeah, so if you went, like, max speed, right, Specs, and then you just... it's slower, but it's not so fast that it can, like... I guess you could go Modest Scarf. Is Modest Scarf still... Yeah, Modest Scarf is still slower than Ribombee. So you couldn't... Yeah, you could do, like... Yeah, Modest Scarf, just max. And then, like, Terra Ice... and then, yeah, just rock like Terra Ice and then just click Sweet Scent Blizzard. Because you would be faster than effectively everything else, right? Besides opposing Ribombee. Yeah, 176. So yeah, I think you would outspeed everything that's not Ribombee. But the problem there is like, okay, so Volcarona exists. And you got to deal with that. No. So yeah, I'm still a little like I was even in theory gonna go like if it learns like does it learn any rock moves? Wide guard. Yeah, no, because you could even in theory run a mix set maybe, but yeah, it's I just think that it's like you're working too hard with it. Which is kind of like maybe my issue there. Thanks, I remember it because of a random and Groudon player. Please do not describe me as a Groudon player. I am not one of those. I do it for the memes. Because we're talking about Rabombi so much, probably S tier, right? Like it's like super fast. It's reliable Tailwind. Moonblast isn't bad. Like resist, super effective, neutral. Neutral. Yeah, it's like not a lot here actually resists Moonblast. It's effectively like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Pokemon. So about a fourth of the metagame resists Moonblast. But it's like the fastest Mon that you can have. So it's like, and it gets like a decently wide support pool, which we don't really see, right? So Rabombi, like, yeah, it gets, first of all, it also gets Quiver Dance. Fun fact of the day. You would never give it Honey Gatherer. It's always probably Shield Dust. Just resist. But yeah, it gets Quiver Dance. You know, Moonblast is good. It gets Sunny Day. It does not get Rain Dance. Yeah, it gets screens. So you could have like really fast non-Prankster screens if you wanted that. It gets Switcheroo, so you could do some silly stuff with that. Yeah, Tailwind, obviously. It gets U-turns, so you can, in theory, choice it if you want. Like, you've got a couple of options here, I think. Aromatic Mist, I guess, if you want to really cook. Like, it gets Charm to lower opposing attack. Like, there's plenty of options here. So, yeah, I think Rabombi goes S tier just for the sake of, like, what it can do. And because, again, it has VGC viability outside of this metagame, which automatically puts it at a really, really high price point, right? Next is Ariados. So the determination for Ariados, right, and for me is like, how does it stack up against Eviolite Venonat? Like, where's it at? Like, stats-wise, so when we looked at Venonat, right, its HP hit 167, it was 110 if you went to the bump, and then it was 78 on the special defense. So, plus Eviolite, yeah, it's like Venonat is technically better, right? Like it's just like it's bulkier with the Eviolite. What's higher? It's so yeah, so you want Impish. So if we go to the last bump here, yeah. Yeah, even if you give it like a Citrus Berry, I guess. Like it's still like Venonat is bulkier, and then like you get, I'm sure you get Nightshade too. Yeah, so you can in theory Nightshade with Ariados as well. But like Insomnia is okay to stop the sleep powders from Venonat and like opposing Pokemon. Swarm isn't like super great. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it gets Rage Powder. What else? It gets Disable, but it gets Electro, but it's not fast enough to do anything with that. It gets Infestation. Knockoff is probably actually not bad. Sticky Web is okay. Sucker Punch is probably pretty good to kind of like pick things off. Toxic and Toxic Spikes if you want to be that guy. You're not that guy. Yeah, it's just like it's not really doing anything like amazing, you know? And it's certainly not doing anything better. It's certainly not doing anything better than otherwise. I guess you get Toxic Thread, which is like maybe could be something like lowers and poisons, but that again, it's just that one thing. Like there, you can just set up other stuff. It gets Matt asks, yeah, so it gets Sucker Punch for sure. I don't think it gets First Impression, and I don't think it gets Shadow Sneak. Actually, I know it does. So yeah, it gets a decent amount of prio, which is pretty good. I would note that the priority it gets is not stab, so it's like you're not investing into the attack at all, so that doesn't feel like super great because it's not giving that additional damage boost. But I mean, it's something, I guess, if you need to pick off one thing. Yeah, so Toxic Thread, is like okay, but it's like does the speed really matter? I guess if you're going to toxic stuff, you know, it's like just run toxic, you know, and that I think that's a little bit better there. So it's like I'm maybe not as convinced on toxic dread because it's like if you're running that, yeah, Jordy, that's exactly what I'm saying. Then still be slower. It's like just run toxic at that point. It's like I don't really see the viability in like the dual use here. So that kind of. Yeah, if only Toxic Thread gave Toxic Poison. Yeah, then we would maybe be talking, but otherwise, yes. I personally, for me, Ariados, like, if I'm going to keep consistent with the way that I'm ranking this stuff, right, I'm going to go a little faster because we're already an hour in. I guess it's like this was the plan for the whole stream anyways, so it's not that big a deal, but I'd probably put it, like, behind Venomoth, right, because maybe even D, like C or D. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, if you think... if it should go C or D. It's certainly behind Venomoth because it's like my thing is like Venomoth has a funny use case outside of like pretending to be another Pokemon, i.e. the Specs tinted lens set, right? Ariados really like doesn't. It's like it's literally just inferior Venonat. So if your Rage Powder Mon needs priority, you can use Ariados. Yeah, so it's like okay, I'll put it in C. That's a good point. I'll put it in C specifically because you're right, Jordy. So it's just like it does serve its purpose in that if you need prio on your Mon, and yeah, I guess you could maybe do a gimmick with some like Shadow Sneak. Like maybe I guess I could see like there's no other ghost types, but if you wanted to, you could do like Shadow. I guess with Rabska, if you can set up Trick Room. I guess like Rage Powder Trick Room. And then everybody's saying D. Okay, I'll put it in D. And it's like Shadow Sneak, proc weakness policy stuff. Like there's maybe a couple of options there, but yeah, I'm not super convinced on it. Okay, Scizor. Another quad weakness to fire, but that's fine, right? Because you're effectively worried about one Pokemon, and you can just like have other answers for that Pokemon on the team. Technician, obviously super good. You can run Choice Band. You can run Life Orb. It's really fantastic moves. Like Bullet Punch priorities, like super good, especially if we're going to rank Ribombee as high as we are. That's probably pretty massive. Close Combat, again, is okay. What are the bug moves? It gets Bug Bite, which again is pretty solid. It gets U-Turn, which I think is... fun. It gets Fury Cutter and Lunge. Okay, Lunge is solid. Skitter Smack is not Technician boosted, so we don't really care. U-Turn's not Technician boosted, right? Because Technician's 60 power or lower. Is it less than 60? Moves of 60 power or less. So Bug Bite is, in fact, boosted by Technician. So that's pretty good. Fury Cutter is... at least the first one. I don't necessarily know how that works. Lunge is not. Pounce is. So that would be 75. So Lunge is still better. Skitter Smack is not. U-Turn is not. And X-Scissor is not. So yeah, technically Bug Bite 60. It's a 90 base power attack. It's its best move even if you don't steal the berry. And in theory, you could have Scizor running... like a berry on its own. Like, again, Akka is fine. And then you do, like, Bug Bite, Dual Wing Beat, Bullet Punch, like, Protect, if you wanted, or something like that, and then kind of go from there. Overall, I can see the use case. It's definitely got, like, it's definitely good. Like, it's for sure. Is it S tier? It answers Ribombee really well, but it does not answer Volcarona. So I'd probably actually end up putting it behind. So what's this difference in the attack stats for these two, right? So Scizor has a base 130 attack. Base 110 attack, and with how frail all of these bug types are, yeah. Scyther's like probably literally just better. Like specifically Bullet Punch is a use case for Scizor. And because of that, I think it like deserves to be this high. But it's like if you don't need the steal coverage, I think that Scyther kind of all around, just has more bulk. Like it kind of does the same thing and doesn't have such a vast the attack. The base attack is not so different that it really matters, you know. I have many Discord notifications for some reason, and they're bugging me. Oh yeah, it's the Among Us bus tour tonight. Okay, go away. Scizor would be S if you banned Volk. Yeah, but it's like the strong meta stuff. Okay, Heracross. Like, okay, but like Terra Normal Facade is not bad. Okay, wait, like, because it gets Guts. It gets Moxie, but like fighting is resisted by fighting is never better than neutral anywhere in the metagame, right? So you can go like Guts boosted Terra Normal Facade, I guess. Oh, hey Lucas. Let's see. Are we ranking bug types for Bug Month? Yes, we are, because I will be hosting Mono Bug Reg H Plus tournaments over the course of the month. So that's kind of the big thing for me. So it's like we're kind of getting a list ready. Heracross is the only coaching mon, by the way. Also, Rock Blast. Oh, that's true. So Rock Blast is there. That's pretty good. Because nothing else learns Rock Blast. Like, I mean, like, if you want Rock Blast, then like Cleavor is better, right? Like a stab. It's faster. Because you're going to want to run loaded dice. Base attack is better on Cleavor. I guess you could run Moxie, but like... Heracross is the second best rock type in this meta. Yeah, it's like Cleavor kind of like... You got Swarm. You have Sheer Force. Sharpness isn't bad. I guess Swarm, but it's like if you're... I guess to Evan's point, though, it's like you wouldn't really want to run Rock Blast, like loaded dice Rock Blast on Cleavor, because like what... It doesn't do anything with these abilities. So it's like if you want to like it would become prominent if we like start seeing a lot of like focus sash stuff like and things like that. There's no way that it gets... No, if it got quick attack, man, like Guts boosted Terra Normal quick attacks, like I would be like, okay, like we're talking about something here, you know what I mean? But no quick attack, man. It's just like, because then you could run like Facade, something, quick attack, protect. That would be really good. Yeah, I it's probably not D tier for sure, right? Like, it has a niche. Like, it does something that no other Pokemon can do, right? In that it gets Guts, it gets Facade, it can like if you can set it up properly, like nothing's probably gonna live that. I mean, like a Terra Normal Guts boosted Facade is just like crazy good, as we've seen by like Ursaluna and Regulation F lately. So I think B tier is pretty fair for this. Like I was maybe a little too quick to judge it, but yeah, I think it has some use cases that only it can do, and I think that provides it a little bit higher up on the tier list than I'd initially thought. Okay, Masquerain. I mean, the water typing alone gives it some viability, right? There's only two, Araquanid and Masquerain. It gets Intimidate, which I don't think there is another Intimidate mon, so that immediately helps it out. Its stats, wow, are just okay. I mean, it's not like in the grand scheme of this meta, its stats are okay. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, its stats are basically on par. You could run like, yeah, Quiver Dance. Nothing gets Coil. That would be so cool because it gets like Hurricane, right? It gets Hurricane, Hydro Pump. Like, it gets like really powerful moves that if you wanted to go for like some of that like Sweet Scent stuff, like you could go like, again, like Scarf this to be like 1 speed point slower than Rabombi, and then click Sweet Scent and then whatever move you need. Does it get Muddy Water? Does it get Surf? Yeah, it gets Surf, I guess. Does it get Surf? I guess. Yeah, it gets Surf. Yeah, it gets Surf, I guess. Does it get Surf? Yeah, it gets Surf. 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 Yeah, it It's like if it got Muddy Water, we would be like really talking here. And it's bug fly. It's not even bug water. Oh yeah, I forgot. It's not even bug water. It's bug flying. I mean, it has Intimidate, which like literally nothing else does. So that gives it a use case, which to me says that it has to be at least C tier, right? Like probably, like it's like right on par with Venomoth. Again, you can Quiver Dance with it if you want, but it's like, I guess with Intim plus Quiver, it's like you want to stay in if you Quiver Dance, you don't want to be pivoting it out. I know it gets U-turn. Someone tried to get me with like weakness armor, weak armor, armor rouge once, and I was like, nah, dog. Like, okay, I see it. Like a bug type, like it gets U-turn. I see it. It gets haze. Okay, so haze is something. It gets tailwind. It gets icy wind. Yeah, I'll put it in C tier. Like it's like around Venomoth. It's like okay. If it was bug water, I would want to put it higher, but. How valuable is Intimidate in this meta? I would say, like, okay, right? I mean, we've got Cleavor, we've got Araquanid, we've got Scyther, Scizor, Heracross, Fortress. Like, there's a decent Slitherwing. Like, there's an okay amount of physical attackers that, like, you could maybe see some uses for it. So, I think C is perfectly valid for Masquerain here. I think if you have a niche that you need filled, Masquerain could do it, but otherwise there's not particularly a need to use it. Okay, so let's, Illumise is obviously the Whimsicott, the Tornadus of this meta. It's incredibly good. It gets so many support options. It gets Encore, it gets Rain Dance, it gets Sunny Day, it gets Tailwind, it gets Charm, right? It gets Struggle Bug to lower special attack. That won't be Prio, but it's still good. It's decently fast. It gets Endeavor. It gets Fake Tears, so you could run like Sunny Day, Fake Tears, Illumise with like Scarf Volcarona is something. It gets Helping Hand. Like there's just so many options for this thing. That obviously, it's like I don't think there's ever a world where Illumise is ever considered less than S tier in this metagame. It's just like, especially because this will primarily be a metagame played in best of one closed team sheet. It's like wide support toolkit just works super duper well that you can really cheese people out with it. So it's got to go up in S tier. I think I don't think that's like you can disagree, but I don't really think that's a valid disagreement. Volbeat, on the other hand, let's talk about this. So it gets Prankster as well. Does it get the same? It gets Rain Dance. Doesn't get Fake Tears. It gets Encore, but like what? Why would you use Volbeat over Illumise, I guess is my question, right? Like, is there a move? It gets Light Screen. Does it get Reflect? No, it still doesn't get Reflect. It gets Tail Glow. It gets Taunt, but I'm fairly certain Illumise gets Taunt. No, okay, so Volbeat gets Taunt and Illumise doesn't, so that's something. Does Ribombee get Taunt? Like, can you fast taunt with Ribombee? Okay, so immediately, Jordy. I mean, valid, Jordy. Immediately, Volbeat does actually have a use case because it gets Prankster Taunt, which Illumise doesn't, and the fastest thing in the meta in Ribombee doesn't. So that's pretty good. It doesn't get Tailwind, though. Oh, it does get Tailwind. Okay, this thing kind of has its own, like, reasons to be used, right? Like, depending on what exactly you need, like, I kind of want to go S tier for it as well. Just because it, like, it differentiates itself enough from, basically, the fact that it has Taunt and Illumise doesn't is, like, such a good use case for it, right? No Torment, though. Like, this one's kind of a hard... Like, I wouldn't think of Volbeat as, like, an S-tier mon, but that alone to me says, okay, it has so many of the same support moves as Illumise, but is still like that slight difference makes it its own Pokemon, which can be incredibly helpful. So I'm actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go refill my water real quick, and I'm gonna let y'all talk, and then I'm gonna come back and it's definitely at least A tier, but I think it's probably S tier. So, but I'll let y'all decide that. So I will be back in like 2 minutes, and then we will finish out the ranking. So BRB. Where it is? Okay, I'm back. Let's see. Yes, it's a Kurt. Hello, Kurt. Losers. Got buying Rom those TCG cards clearly. Go to. Here. Hey, Lucas. I hope you have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Should be S tier personally, especially in the best of one setting. Well, the similar things. Just pick a moveset to pick up. Perfect. All right. Both Prankster Bugs are S tier. Perfect. I don't think you would want to run both. Like, they serve too similar a role that there's not really much a point in having both of them, Matt. What can Cricketune do? I get it in Ranbat sometimes, and it really sucks. It gets Technician, right? Terrible. It gets Swords Dance, I know that. But it's like there are better setup sweepers. Its speed stinks. Its bulk stinks. Like, even comparatively to other Pokemon, it's bad. Right? Vespiquen, yeah, it's like Vespiquen's like very bulky. Yeah, probably we want to say that like Cricketune like probably F tier. Like, Technician's okay, but it gets Perish Song. Oh, okay, wait. Okay, wait, we have a use case. Does anything else get Perish Song? Nope, it is the only Mon in the meta that gets Perish Song. It closes. Okay, yep, that's right, Kurt. That's true. All right, so that immediately gives it a use case. So I'm immediately tempted to put it in C tier. Like it has a use case that no other Pokemon has. Like, if you want to run Perish in the all bug metagame, you must run Kricketune. And so I'm going to slap it bottom of C for that, just because it's like, it does something that nothing else can. And then, like, it gets Brick Break, I guess. It gets Knockoff. Yeah, Perish Song. It does probably get Infestation. You could run it with, like, Screens. Can't really trap things in, but that's fine. Yeah. It's like, it does what it needs to do, but not really anything more. Vespiquen, right? So Pressure and a Nerve. A Nerve could actually be really good if we see a lot of, like, type resist berries popping up, you know, and citrus berries and stuff like that. All of a sudden, then, like, Unnerve is actually pretty good because it stops those berries from, right? So it's like, if we do see, like, Akaberry Fortress, for instance, in front of Volcarona a lot to, like, live the Heat Wave and then Revenge Kill, then Unnerve is, like, actually, like, really good in comparison with that. Its attack stat is about on par with everything else, as well as its special attacks. So you can actually run it either way. Its bulk, though, is quite impressive for this metagame. I mean, like, having even a single defense over 100 is quite good. And, like, almost nothing, because almost nothing has that, right? So it's definitely, like, the bulkiest Pokemon. Like, it's pretty close, for sure. I mean, obviously, you've got Fortress there. Scizor is pretty good. Flying is also a good typing into this meta game. Right? Like, yeah. It's at least decently bulkier than most other Pokemon. Vespiquen gets a rock move. Yeah, does it get Power Gem? Does it get Ancient Power? No, that'd be funny. Yeah, it gets Power Gem. It does, and with bulk, it probably can easily survive. Like, you can just go, like, Citrus Berry on it. It's not fast, but that's okay, because its natural bulk allows it to live things. Yeah, Defense Order is an option. So you can just kind of, like, stall up the bulk. Yeah, it seems pretty good. I'm kind of tempted to go, like, A tier, personally. Like, it's bulky. It will deal the damage it needs to because its flying type moves are stab. You know what I mean? And so you can probably invest in a way that's, like, really, really useful. I don't think it's as good as these three, but I definitely think it deserves to be kind of up here in A tier. Heal Order. It doesn't get Heal Order. It gets Roost, though. I know that. I know it gets Roost, so it is actually a pretty solid Stallmon. So yeah, I would say I'd put Vespiquen in A tier, right? Okay, Yanmega. And if you disagree with me, just comment and I'll go back to it. But yeah, I think it's Yanmega, right? Let's see. I am maybe like Frisk. Okay, because of the fact that this is a best of one that has to Terabug as soon as it hits the field. Terabug. Yeah, my problem with that is, like, then that would be, those Pokemon would basically overrun the metagame. Yeah, it's like you could just run, like, Terabug instant, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden it's, like, super easy to win every match. It's like, I think that allowing outside, like, the point of this is to highlight these bug type Pokemon, and the good thing about these bug types is they're all relatively even. in terms of like stat distribution and stuff like that. There's obviously a couple of very clear like top outliers, but for the most part, they're pretty well grouped. And so like allowing these Pokemon, these non-bug Pokemon in, just like would probably shift the balance of the metagame far too drastically. Yeah, so, but Frisk is pretty good at, especially in these best of one settings. So does anything else get Frisk? That's my question first. No, it is only Yanma and Yanmega, so that is pretty, that's a use case for it right there. Yanma as well is has compound eyes, so in theory that could with hypnosis, but I'm not super convinced on the viability of Yanma there. Speed boost obviously pretty good. It gets air slash, and its other ability is tinted lens as well, so you can do stuff with that. It does get ancient power, so if you wanted to be funny, like you could try to get like boosted, like get an omni boost with the Mega, and there's a rock type move. Yep, Jordy, don't sleep on speed boost ancient power. Yeah, so it gets Swords Dance, Tailwind, you know, it gets, you know, it gets a pivot move, and so immediately I go, okay, well, Tinted Lens, Choice Specs, U-Turn. Yeah, it's probably quite good. Like, the more that y'all talk about it, like, I would say, like, I guess my question is like, does it have, so in these, like, primary sweepers, right? First of all, we need, like, it's Struggle Bug, probably. Yeah, so it's got a spread move. It gets Air Cutter. So in theory, you can, like, Specs Air Cutter Tinted Lens stuff. If you wanted to do something like that as a spread move, like spread. Yeah, I think it goes A tier. Like, I know that Air Cutter's not super powerful, but can we get off the Tail Glow Baton Pass train? No more Tail Glow Baton Pass. Enough of that. But I think ultimately, if you want like a special sweeper with spread flying type damage, this is probably going to be your best bet. You could, in theory, also run it with, you could actually also, in theory, run it with Illumise. Does it get Hurricane? No. Okay, no, never mind. We'll go A tier for this. We'll put it above Vespiquen, but probably lower. It's somewhere in here, right? Let's go there. I think because you can use it both offensively and supportive, with like a speed boost tailwind set or like a specs tinted lens set, it provides a little bit more like it's a little bit more mix up, like, you know, you can do kind of stuff with it. Like I want it to be a little higher than these two, because it's like the Venonat has one set. It so happens to do that set really well, and it's the only thing that can really do that set to the best of its abilities, but it only has one set. And the Vespiquen as well just like has tools, but somebody would probably need to figure out how to best utilize them. So I think we put Yanmega up a little higher into A tier. Hey, Orzori, how you doing? Leave Annie. Right? Like, I don't know, is that really a question? This thing sucks. It is a physical attacker. Does it get Victory Dance? No, it does not. So you can't even do that. Like, it's quad weak to flying and quad weak to fire, two types that will be very, very good into this meta. It gets Chlorophyll, I guess, but there's not really a set Sun user. It gets Overcoat for some reason, even though it's a grass type. It doesn't need that. It's upsetting. Yeah, it's just like, what does it do? You know, nothing. If it got Victory Dance, I'd probably put it in D tier. In theory, you could like slap a choice band on it. Like a 103 attack stat is not bad. What does Victory Dance do again? Asking for a friend. It's a physical quiver dance. So it's just quiver dance, but for attack and defense. But it's like, I get, yeah, you could go like chlorophyll and then like set up the sun and just like smack something with a choice band super fastly Vanny. But then you're making Volcarona, which is definitely the biggest meta threat, even more powerful in the sun. So I worry about that a little bit. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's straight F tier. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so actually, Evan and I were talking about Galvantula last night, and we think it's actually it's like one of the fastest mons in the meta. It has fantastic speed control. It gets compound eyes with Thunder, which is really, really good. So Thunder becomes incredibly accurate. It gets Electro Web. It gets Volt Switch as a pivot move. Like, you can do Struggle Bug. It gets Infestation. It gets all these things. Like, this mon, pretty versatile. Its bulk is on par, basically, with everything else in the meta. And its offensive stat at 97 is not bad. It's one of the higher stats. Again, we were talking maybe like you could run like Assault Vest on this thing. Terra Water, because the only opposing electric type that you would need to be worried about is an opposing Galvantula. And you would run like Thunder, Electro Web, not that. Web, and like Struggle Bug or some move you want, and then Volt Switch as a pivot. You could be like a fast pivot, you know, and then like EV to, I don't know, just like live what you need to live. So you could do like this, go modest or whatever. I have no idea. Oh, what an early bump. And so you want to be able to like outspeed like Rabombi, right? At -1. So that's 194 divided by 1.5 is, yeah, so you don't even need that much speed investment. Like, you can literally just go 12-12 and then just like stack this thing full of defense and like make it like super tanky for the meta. And then kind of just like hit the ground running, you know what I mean? So it's like there's something here with this, I think. You could, if you really, really wanted to, because ground won't be super prominent, like you could even run like Terra Electric just to like give it that additional damage boost. Rabombi won't drop speed because Shield Dust. Boom! Well, you're just gonna paralyze it with Thunder. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, you'll just paralyze it with Thunder. Can like Terra Electric just Oko or Rabombi? Can you, like, how much Thunder is so powerful in a meta where like nothing is particularly bulky? I'm a bit curious. Not 10,000 volt Thunderbolt. Why do I have a custom set for Rabombi? Let's go Terra Electric right now. Hang on. Wait, this writing is fire. Oh my god. Hold up. Okay, so it's like if we go second bump. Hang on. I'm figuring this out real quick. Huh? Wow, yeah, second bump, Terra Electric Thunder has an 82% chance to Oko Rabombi. And you're probably thinking like, oh, well, Jon-Luke, you know, like, it's probably going to run Sash. Everything wants the Sash. Everything wants Sash in this metagame. There's no promise that Rabombi's going to be running Focus Sashes. And then you're just going to paralyze it anyways, if it is, you know what I mean? So, like, yeah, I personally want to put Galvantula like here, like high A tier for me personally. I mean, it serves like a really fantastic speed control role while also dealing damage. It has really powerful Thunders, which is probably one of the most powerful moves in the metagame. It works. It's like it's super good. I don't know. It's like you can run multiple sets. It's the only electric type. So that will help against like opposing flying types like Scyther and Vespiquen. Like I'm a Galvantula believer. I'm not gonna lie. Let's manipulate the meta a little bit. And so I just kind of want to go from there. I think it deserves to be. I in theory kind of want to go like here because it like checks these things, but I don't want Jordy to leave. I need more concurrent viewers, so I'll leave it there. It's the second. The Vicable, right? Okay. So what are we at? We're at 30 minutes. Okay, we can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So we just kind of got to run through these a little bit. Well, we can kind of Spite Ops stinks. Like it doesn't do anything better than anything else. I guess like Stakeout is something, but it's like not fast enough to really make use of it. Like, why doesn't this thing get Prankster? Like, if Spite Ops had Prankster Dog, it would actually be like quasi viable. But yeah, otherwise this thing just like is poopy doopy. Like Insomnia, I guess, to stop itself from sleeping. And it has like an incredibly good support tool. I mean, it gets first impression. So you could go like Choice Band Terra Bug if you wanted to, but then you have to, deal with that. You could go like eject button. Like if I have to pull out the eject button as a viable set on a Pokemon, it's not getting higher than D tier. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's like if I'm going towards eject button strats, like it's not an A tier Pokemon. You know what I mean? So yeah, you could do like eject button, first impression, take the hit, like get the prio off, take the hit, pivot out, and then be able to do it again later. There's a couple of other options like that, and it gets good support tools. It gets taunt, it gets Electroweb, but like, why would you use Y? I guess. It gets Memento because the best thing you can do is get off the field. It gets Silk Trap, which is basically like Protect, but it's upper hand Spite Ops to jump scare Scizor in closed sheet, I guess, but like you're only gonna deal like 4%. His attack stat's pitiful. 79 against Scizor's base defense. It's like 100 base defense, isn't it? Yeah, 100 base defense. Like it's not doing anything. Yeah, it's like this thing just like it either needs to be way faster or it needs to have Prankster. I think those are basically. Amoonguss won a world tournament with eject button. That's correct, but Amoonguss doesn't have to run the eject button. Amoonguss runs the eject button because it works in certain situations. It's not normally ran with the eject button, and that's a difference. So yeah, I think Spite Ops is straight dookie. Like, sorry, you can prove me wrong, but it's like if you want to set up hazards, there are better, faster Pokemon for that. Yeah, and some other options there. Vivian, I mean, you get Compound Eyes, you get Sleep Powder, it's fast. You get Rage Powder. You get Friend Guard, okay, so that gives your Pokemon additional livability. Its own stats are kind of dookie doo-doo, but that's okay. But Friend Guard alone, like, should put it, like, B tier minimum, because it's the only mon to give you that additional bulk if you need it. Compound Eyes is, like, solid, because you get Sleep Powder, you get Hurricane, which makes Hurricane like almost perfectly accurate. It's like 93% or something like that. It's like very accurate. So yeah, it has its niches. Question of the day. It does get Quiver Dance, so you could in theory like pump this bad boy full of defensive EVs and go from there if you wanted to be the sweeper, but I think it would work best as a supportive mon. So yeah, it's what supportive moves does it get? I mean, yeah, you can get like the nice thing about something like Hurricane, well, if you're not running Compound Eyes and you don't want Hurricane, it's kind of the bad thing, but like Rage Powder, it's not particularly bulky, which is kind of its main issue. It's like you can run Friend Guard, but like what's it doing? Like then you're just like your best moves are like Hurricane, just like raw dogging it a little bit. It gets sleep. It gets Sleep Powder, I guess. So fast Sleep Powders. But again, you would want to run Compound Eyes. So it's like if you want fast Sleep Powders plus redirection, Scarf with Sleep Powder, and this one isn't a joke. Yeah, I guess. And then you're stuck clicking Sleep Powder. I don't know. It's like I'm fine with putting it in like high B. Personally. Like it's like it does things and it does things specifically, but especially as a support mon, you want something with better bulk. And even in this metagame, like its bulk is pretty bad. You know what I mean? It's like it's still gonna go down a little too quickly. Because it only has 50 and 50. Like even compared to everything else, that is still pretty bad bulk. And so it's signature move. So it's like it's not like really over the top for me. Vikavolt, interesting, slow. You would actually, I'm gonna put these here because they're important. So let's do Araquanid. So Araquanid is like A tier minimum, right? It's the water type. It's the only fire resist out of the entire metagame. It actually probably is like S tier, right? It gets wide guard, so if you want to, if the opposing Volcarona is like spamming Heat Wave, you have something against that. Water type damage is incredibly valuable into Volcarona, and probably what we will see a lot is like some like Terra Rock. I think Terra Rock will actually be a prominent thing in this metagame, and so being able to hit that with a stab water type, like a does Water Bubble boost it? You know what I mean? It's like stab water moves. Like it's the only water type Pokemon. You got you have a faux water type in Masquerain. Yeah, it gets Icy Wind, I guess, but it's like so slow that it's like that. There are better mons to use speed control. Like you normally want to be clicking Icy Wind prior to anything else moving, and then like immediately getting that dynamic speed difference. But yeah, I think overall it's very, very good. Yeah, just like Terra, Water Bubble, Mystic Water, Water, Terra Liquidation. Yeah, yeah, Surskit is Bug and Flag type though, so it's not. Yeah, Surskit. I guess you can use Eviolite Surskit, but like why? You know, it's like I like winning sometimes. So yeah, so overall it's an S tier mon. It's super duper good. Cleavor as well, like stab. It's got to be S tier, right? Like stab rock type moves, super effective into 95% of the metagame. It can set up. It has a damaging move that also sets up stealth rocks, which are obviously very good into this. I mean, look at like there's so many like things here that like really don't want to take them, and a lot of like a lot of the top tier threats will take a lot of damage. Like you like 50%. You know what I mean? 50%, 50%, 50%. All of this stuff, 50%. All of that stuff. So it's like those are very, very good. I'd actually probably end up putting it higher, like probably next to Volcarona. Like Volcarona and Cleavor will really kind of be like the centralizing figures of this metagame. And so, yeah, I think that's something particularly important to keep in mind. Yeah, so I would put Volk and Cleavor like right up there. They're the two that you need to be ready to have answers for. That's where I think like Defog. Is Defog even still in the game? I don't even know, dude. But definitely like, heavy duty boot stuff, rapid spin, like that's going to be really big. JL, have you read Jujutsu Kaisen? Because I just realized what the thumbnail was. Yes, Orizori, I have read all of JJK. I have I don't know if I can twist it. I have a panel on my arm right here. From the prior to the Shibuya arc. So yes, I've read all of JJK. And yes, and that I got this. I should mention that. So yeah, the thumbnail was made by Andy LaVGC. I think he did an excellent job. I commissioned him for this particular thumbnail because I thought it would be really funny. I think he did great work. Like I'm very happy with kind of the thumbnail that came out of it. So yes, that is the thumbnail. So everybody, if you know Andy or you're aware of him, make sure to tell him good job. He deserves it. He did a really, really good job on this thumbnail. I like it a lot. All right, low kicks, right? Dark type. Is there another dark type? No, right? So it's the only dark type Pokemon, so that's pretty good. It also gets tinted lens, but not a lot really resists dark. Like does anything? I guess Rabombi, which if it's a major meta threat is something kind of prominent. Its bulk is meh. Attack is okay. Speed is decent. It gets things like Sucker Punch. It gets first impression. This is actually something that can utilize that well. It gets sucker punch. It gets knockoff. Like, you know what I mean? It gets like good prio moves are super awesome. If you can, like EV, like maybe a helping hand sucker punch to always Oko Volk, you're probably gaming with something. Yeah, I mean, Terra Stellar First Impression Choice Band has a favorable role to Oko Volcarona. So, I mean, that's something there. And then you could, like, side Whirlwind or something. That would be kind of funny. Like, that would be a pretty cool tech that you could do. But, yeah, just a couple of options. I think it definitely, it gets Swords Dance. It has a couple of use cases for sure. The fact that it's the only dark type immediately makes me like it. I'm curious though if it's like does the like I guess the fact that it gets priority and is immune to Prankster to me and is the only priority we've looked at that deals decent damage and is not resisted by Volcarona. To me, says that it's probably like top of A, maybe S, like around here somewhere. It's kind of my thought. Like it's pretty good, right? Yeah, Kurt says, and Tinted Lens could be something with all of the resistances. But it's like, what's resisting it, right? 1, 2. Yeah, there's only 2 things that resist dark type damage in this entire metagame. Being a tarp type in this form, is not a good thing in this format. So, I agree. Orzori, like yes, like everything will obviously be super effective into it, but it's like you're not really bringing low kicks to be there for a long time. You know, it's there to like trade, like pick up a KO, do its best, and then kind of leave. And if that's it, fainting or whatever, like, yeah, I think I like Feint plus Terra Stellar Choice Band First Impression with that decent of an attack stat is actually pretty good. Yeah, 2-time X's are gonna hurt. Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like you can run it with Tailwind, you can run it with Feint. Like I think if you want like fast hyper offense, this is like outside of Volcarona is kind of like one of the best options you've got, right? Especially, and I think it's really carried by the fact that it gets Sucker Punch, because it's like nothing else in this metagame really has like good priority moves, or at the very least has priority moves that it can utilize well. So it's because obviously we get Shadow Sneak and Sucker Punch on Ariados, but it's like stab off the base 102 attack, which is like high for this metagame. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think it should be up there. Make sure the feint is faster. Yeah, but I mean, like, if you're using a feint user, that shouldn't be super hard, right? Because it's like, low kicks it's only base 92 speed, so it's not like super fast either way. So, yeah, I think as long as you get the interactions right, it's pretty good. So, yeah, I think it goes A tier. I think theoretically, yes, it works quite well. Offensively, defensively not, but I mean, you could run a defensive Terra or just Terra Bug. Like, Terra Bug would be a defensive Terra for this thing. And it has decent enough bulk. Not amazing, but like 78 defense is higher than a lot of these things. It's special bulk, stinky poo-poo, but that's okay. Vikavolt. Okay, so Vikavolt has the highest special attack in the game, right? And I wanted to, or in this metagame, and I wanted to leave Vikavolt to be immediately next to Rabska, because you effectively must run Vikavolt with Rabska, right? Because Rabska can set up Trick Room. Like unless you run like Timid, Max Speed, Sash, Vikavolt, like it's not, and then like have Tailwind or something, it's not really doing like amazing. I guess you could run like Timid, Max Speed, Choice Specs, and then do like Terra Ground, like Tailwind Setter Discharge shenanigans, but like if you don't paralyze the Volcarona and they set up a Quiver Dance, they're faster, which is kind of a problem, right? So it's like you kind of have to run it on Trick Room, and so I wanted to put these two together because it's like you're basically always going to see Rabsca and Vikavolt on the same team. Now, is that archetype good or bad? That's the question, right? It's like, is the metagame going to be so fast paced that you can set up Trick Room? And the issue there is like, I don't think I think it could work. I mean, you would probably always need to utilize your Terra on Rabsca just to get that up, and they won't be exactly the same because Rabsca obviously gets Revival Blessing, which I think is something that can be useful in this metagame. Because there's not a lot of like super fast offense, like it should be able to sit around with the natural bulk that it has. So I think that like Vikavolt and Rabsca are normally going to be seen together. It's just like, where do we put them, right? So you wouldn't really use Vikavolt as support. It would be pretty offensive, but I think it would do the job of offense well. It gets Levitate, but that doesn't really matter. It's like you're not going to see a lot of ground type coverage in this metagame, so it effectively has like no ability. Yeah, Explosion, Fortress, Telepathy, Rabsca, bring in Specs, Vikavolt. Okay, so we know Kurt's team. Yeah, I'm tempted to put it in like Beach. Like it's like obviously like base 145 special attack is like super good. Like it's got a really high special attack. It can deal a lot of damage, but it's like you do have to like set it up basically. But I still think it's good. Is it better than Fortress? Probably, right? Like it just like does really well. I kind of want to put it like top of B. I think so. It's just like it's like because it's not really like the reason that I don't want to put it in A tier is just because it can't exist on its own. Like it's not a splashable mon. So it basically has to be on like a standard archetype. It has to have certain partners. Otherwise, it just like can't succeed. And so the reason that's the reason that I don't want to put it any higher because you can't just like, oh, I need a 6 to patch X matchup. You can't just do that with Vikavolt. Like you have to be building around the idea of Vikavolt, and that is a little limiting in itself. Thusly, though, Rabsca is definitely A tier, right? Like it's the only Trick Room mon, it's the only Psychic mon, which is pretty good. It gets Revival Blessing. Bulk wise, it's actually pretty solid. Yeah, like base 100 special defense and base 85 defense are for this metagame like really good. It's quite slow. Base 45 is only I think it ties with a couple of other ones and that is only undersped by Vikavolt, which you would have with it anyways. It gets Telepathy. So yeah, in theory you could do Discharge Vikavolt. Which would be really, really good for it. Synchronize, I guess, but like how I guess if you like you can't burn opposing Volcarona, so but like Telepathy's really good if you want to run like Sludge Wave stuff or maybe with Venomoth or something like that. Like you've got a couple of options. It has a good toolkit. I mean, it's Expanding Force. I don't know if anything can really set the terrain for it, but it does get that like immediate like psychic damage is not seen anywhere else, and there's only one dark type in the entire metagame, so that's pretty good. Is there anything else for it? It gets Imprison, which could be pretty good. Yeah, I think it has. I'm actually not doing that. I'm doing something much worse. Great. Yeah, I think it has like some decent options. Just like non-prankster Rain Dance if you really want to like do something funny in Trick Room, stuff like that. But it fills a niche that like literally nothing else does, right? And so I'm pretty tempted to put it in like low A tier just because of that alone. Like it's like nothing else can do what Rabsca can do, and that's really, really important. And then lastly, we have Slitherwing. Slitherwing, right? Obviously the best stat profile out of any Pokemon in the metagame. Where is it? Yeah, right here, right? Bulk-wise, it's solid. Not actually as good as you want it to be, right? Like, 85 base HP is good. Base 135 attack is obviously super good, right? Like, that's definitely, I think that's the best attack stat we have in the entire game. Speed is okay. Bulk, yeah, is fine. My problem here is that fighting type, right? It's like, okay, there's not many other fighting types, right? So it's like that. It's really good, but like everything at worst case is neutral. Uh, Tied with Cleavor for attack, right? So yeah, Evan's basically saying you just run Slitherwing as a fire type. It's just you run like yeah, like it's Koraidon, right? And that's true, right? So you could run like Lorb, or you could basically make this like the bug Reg Hmon, like the bug Koraidon. So it's like Flame Charge, Flare Blitz, yeah, Acrobatics, Terrafire. Maybe you use up a usable item. I don't even know. Like if you have an item that you can use up, like you got some options there. I certainly don't think it's bad. And like if you want like that immediate, you could also run just like Terrafire, like Flare Blitz, Choice Band stuff. You know what I mean? Like if you wanted to, so just like run like Illumise plus Slitherwing, click Terrafire, and then if you're faster, you click Sunny Day and you nuke something. And if you're Booster Energy is good. Are we allowing Slitherwing for the tour? Yes, yeah. So Kurt, we are in fact allowing Slitherwing for the tournament. Because its secondary typing is effectively useless, I think that it's fine in the metagame. And so if we do next week's tournament and that proves to be incorrect, we can remove it. That's fine. Like we can adjust if need be, but I think it's fine to include Slitherwing in this just because it's effectively a bug type, you know. And I think there are ways to get around it. I mean, there is like Rabska and some other stuff like that. But yeah, so it's good. I think its sets might be a little bit limited, but you are right. You can just run Booster Energy. But then it's like, you know, you've got Rabombi and a couple of other things like that. So I mean, it's obviously good, right? And then it is quad weak to flying though, so it's like Scyther, like Eviolite Scyther, you can probably EV to like live some stuff and like do other things like that. And I think we'll be seeing a lot. His bug Arceus a lot. No, Arceus is not allowed. We'll slap Slitherwing in like high A tier, right? Like maybe like right there or like right here. It's like Jordy, can I put Slitherwing in front of Scyther and Scizor, or must they stay at the top of A tier? I will let Jordy be the deciding factor on this one. No. All right, it's going behind them. So, all right. So this is the tier list, right? Starting from the bottom, we have Frostmoth, Leavanny, and Spite Ups are all poopy doopy. Araquanid, not Araquanid, I'm so silly. What is this thing's name? Why am I blanking? Ariados. Ariados just doesn't serve the purpose as well. You have some viability in the C tier, but they're just kind of worse versions of something else. B tier mons can do something independent of like the rest of the meta, but they're not particularly splashable. You need to be kind of wrapping the team around them, which can be a little bit inhibiting. A tier are good mons that are at least somewhat splashable, can run multiple sets or run their specific sets better than anything else in the meta. And the S tier mons both do something independent of everything else. Nothing else can truly do what they do as well. And they're the best at it. And so that's kind of where we're looking at. So this is the tier list. Do we have any demands for change before we call this and we finalize it? So I'm pretty okay with this. I think this is a good place to start. Good to see Rabombi in S. Yes, it is the fastest mon. Yes, Rabombi is S tier. Nice list. Kricketune down, Frostmoth up. What's your... JL, what do you... Well, I see the understanding for. I'll put Cricketune down just so we have something else with Ariados and D tier. Jordy? What's your argument for moving Frostmoth up though? That's my question. Like I need a reason. What do you think of Modulo UG before you end stream? Yeah, so I have read the first few chapters of Modulo, but I wasn't super interested in it. So I haven't kept up. I know some of the stuff, basically that UG is kind of baller, especially even as he got older. But that's about all I know. So I need to get kind of caught up on Modulo TBH. But for the most part, I liked what I read in the beginning, but not enough to keep reading in. Add Surskit to S and call it a day. S as in for sucky. Like, I don't know what you want from me, Kurt. Like, I'm not a liar. And Terra, it's a little better than Cricketune. You have to work for Frostmoth, but at least with all the support in Terra. I guess my argument for keeping it in F tier, and I think this is consistent with kind of what I've done over the course of the stream, is like it doesn't... Cricketune does something that nothing else can do. It's just like not good. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like if you want to run Perish, you must run Cricketune. And in that case, that gives it a use case. Frostmoth is a sweeper, sure, that doesn't match up well into the high meta threats. It's the only Swift Swim that makes it best at a job. So A, and you just like have better options for sweeping. So it's like, and basically it maintains its quad weakness to rock, but doesn't really gain anything in that ice typing. So I'm not particularly sold on moving it up. Surskit is the only Swift Swim, but it's like if you're running Swift Swim on Surskit, man, like you're running it for Intim, right? So it's like, but it's just like the only reason you would be running it is for Intim. Frostmoth gets Wide Guard. Yeah, but doesn't I'm fairly certain like multiple other Pokemon on this list get Wide Guard. Oh, only Araquanid and Frostmoth get Wide Guard. You know what? There. I'll put it high D. How about that? Yeah, because you're right. It is the only thing that gets Wide Guard. Which as a support mon, that's good because you don't really want to be using Araquanid purely as support in this metagame. You want it to be offensive. So I'll put it in that particular instance again, but then that means that you need to go here, right? Like this. Bye, Matt. Hope you have a good night. So this is the list, right? We have lots of really good stuff. Not as much bad stuff. Like there's a lot of use cases for a lot of these Pokemon, which I think is just really, really good. Just for Frostmoth. I wonder if a Araquanid will ever be ran special. People have run it special before. I think it was like James Beck ran like a Hydro Pump Mystic Water set once or something like that. Like really, really silly. I've used it as special in Ranbats as well. So it's like, yeah, it's definitely got some special use cases there. But I think for the most part, like the secondary effects of liquidation are just too good to give up. And you can just run a Clear Amulet on it. So, all right, that is the 2-hour mark. Thank you all for coming. I will post this up. I will try to figure out what I want to do tomorrow for a video in terms of like announcing the tournaments and stuff. But that means that, so I will, Surfer Araquanid plus Rapska is the sauce. That's true. I will make the tournament and I will post it all up and everything, and I'll put it in the video and stuff so that y'all are ready. But next Tuesday, so the first tournament will be next Tuesday, 6 p.m. EST from 6 to 8, Reg H plus Monobug. Now, the only thing to note is that I can't like force that rule set, so don't bring anything that's not one of these Pokemon. We're kind of on the honor system here. So, but yeah, so I think it'll be really fun. I will build a team. Will it be good? I don't know, but we'll find out. Because I finish out the videos are released, so I have the finals for Ditto Draft League on Thursday. I'll record and post that video, and then I can spend the rest of the time like preparing a team for this. So, thank you all so much for watching. It's been fun. Lou Liz, hello, Leah. I will see you in like 30 seconds when I end the stream. But this has been really fun. I hope you all found it useful, and I am excited to begin playing some bug games next week. So y'all have a wonderful night, and do not forget that you are appreciated. All right. Bye-bye.